Trudeau is a great example of what's going on here because he is sort of the perfect example of what the World Economic Forum wants out of a leader. They want someone who stands for nothing, who's completely unable to say the truth, but who looks good on camera, who has no real set of beliefs, probably someone who's done blackface like he has repeatedly, because then they can kind of blackmail him when it comes to a couple things. They can blackface him again and blackmail him on a couple things. He's a really, really bad dude, in case you don't know my feelings about him. But this is a great video. So Rebel News, you guys know Rebel News up in Canada. They are doing incredible work up there. It is not easy to be an actual place of journalism in Canada, and it's getting increasingly hard. And if you want more on that, you should watch Friday's episode, the panel show with Ezra Levant, who started Rebel. They have a journalist, her name is Alexandra Lavoie, and she pushed Trudeau on what he's doing related to vax mandates. And just watch this smug, soulless, evil freak.
Bonjour, Monsieur Trudeau, Alexandre pour Rebel News. Donc, Monsieur Trudeau, je vais revenir rapidement sur ce qui s'est passé hier. Vous avez diabolisé l'un des rares médias qui ne reçoit pas d'argent du gouvernement. Vous avez exprimé votre opinion en disant que nous propageons la désinformation. Tirons la suivante. L'Israël est l'un des pays les plus vaccinés au monde. Ils sont rendus maintenant à leur 4e rappel de vaccin. Ils ne considèrent plus que ceux qui ont reçu 2 doses de vaccin sont pleinement vaccinés. Ma question est, plusieurs Canadiens ne désirent pas avoir un rappel de vaccin. Allez-vous leur enlever leurs privilèges reliés au passeport vaccinal? Et aurez-vous l'obligeance de répondre à ma question en tant que Premier ministre ou allez-vous encore diaboliser mon média?
J'ai partagé ma perspective sur ton organisation hier soir. J'ai plus rien à dire.
Ça demande bien qui vous êtes. Merci.
What a coward. What a disgusting human being. What an awful world leader and someone that should be relegated to the dustbin of history. She asks an extremely relevant question. It is irrelevant what he feels about Rebel. Now, of course, the reason he doesn't like Rebel is because Rebel is an independent news organization in Canada, and Canada funds news organizations. And then you're not going to believe it. They all basically give Trudeau a pass because the government is funding the news organizations that's supposed to be reporting on the politicians. So now he's got one news organization. They're basically the main one that is outside of the system. So they ask him hard questions. And it wasn't just that it was a hard question. It was a completely legitimate question. Hey, vaccines aren't working the way they were promised. You have mandated all of this stuff. We basically had an uprising in the country because of it. You were freezing bank accounts on people. You were throwing people in jail unjustly. We know that it's not working. Just look what's happened in Israel. Could you comment on that? And all he says is, no, I won't. I don't like you. He is a horrible human being. There's no other way to put it. We have to start just being clear about what these people are. But here he is just a bit over a year ago. This is a year and a half ago. And he was singing a very, very different tune when it came to Canada and vaccine mandates.
In terms of mandatory vaccines won't be mandatory. That's not the way we do things in Canada.
Oh, so that's not the way we do things in Canada. That was a year and a half ago. Then he did a complete 180, started jailing people, freezing bank accounts, demonizing half the country, calling them racist and everything else. So what happened? Did Justin Trudeau have some incredible political evolution, or is it possible that Justin Trudeau is not really the Prime Minister of Canada, meaning that he has Canadians' interests at heart? Is he just a foot soldier or a stooge for the World Economic Forum, and Klaus Schwab and his buddy over there, Albert, the CEO of Pfizer, basically were like, hey, dude, we want everybody to be injected and you're going to do it. And he takes orders because he's just a soulless nothing. And of course, by the way, he shut down the supply chain when all the truckers started protesting him. Then the supply chain wasn't working correctly. And that's sort of exactly what's happening in the Netherlands right now as Mark Rutte goes after the farmers. But you know what happens in Western societies? We've still got a chance because the individual can still stand up against the system, and David can always beat Goliath. I firmly believe that. The people of Canada have had it with Justin Trudeau, and here he is just a couple days ago at the Calgary Stampede getting heckled.
Great to see you here. Great to see so many This is a moment to gather and to celebrate being able to gather once again. Isn't it great?
He's so inauthentic. Like, you know, that hat has never been worn before, his shirt, which is tucked in so perfectly. As I say, he's just a suit with nice socks. There's nothing authentic about him. And, you know, I don't love the idea generally that people should be getting in the faces of politicians, certainly in private places like restaurants and things like that. But if you want to go to a public place where they're giving a speech and yell at them, at this point, why not?